Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to answer the question, what legacy are you leaving for your children? We'll be talking to a best-selling author. This book is called Wealth That Lasts. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'm sure you've seen it on the news that we're in the middle of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. And there's that old Chinese proverb that the first generation makes the money. The second generation tries to preserve it because they saw mom and dad work so hard. And by the third generation, they've squandered it. And I think that is still true today. Jim Shields is in the studio. He's the founder and CEO of the Shields Group. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, so happy to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you have been in this business for a long time. How many years?
So I started my law career in '83, so it's been a little over 40 years. As an entrepreneur, almost the entire time, 40 years, 35, 40 years.
And let's talk about that old Chinese proverb, because I've heard that my whole adult life. Is that what you witness when you're working with families? If you're going to lose the wealth, it's by the third generation?
So the actual statistics are second generation, about 80% lose the wealth. By the time you get to the third generation, it's 97%.
That's crazy.
It's a shocking percentage of the third generation that loses the money.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to put up on the screen the cover of this book because I love the artwork. Wealth That Lasts. Tell us about the book. Why did you write it?
So the book was a culmination of, frankly, years of experience. I realize that there's lots and lots of people out there that generate wisdom from experience, and they have stories to tell. So I started about 10 years ago developing a list of what I call success strategies. I never shared it with anybody, Jeff. I only, it's for internal purposes only. And then I realized there's a book there. We all want to share stories and experiences to try to help other people. This particular book came out of a genesis really from my father, because my father grew up in the Depression, fought in World War II, was injured in about 1942, went to a hospital, met my mother, who was a nurse. They got married, and they were married for 57 years. His legacy to me was a legacy of values and attitude and work ethic and all the things that we want to pass down to our kids, but he never really expressed it. He did it in the form of leading by example and not leading with, here's how you do it. And so I wrote the book to be a roadmap, to be a guide, try to help people.
And you spend a lot of time in the book talking about family values. Tell us more about that.
So there's a part of our culture right now is that we believe we can get ahead by buying the new iWatch, buying the new phone, joining the country club, buying a bigger house or a car. The truth is the self-development is far more valuable. So when I talk about wealth in the book, Jeff, the wealth is personal wealth. It's interpersonal development. It's how do we make decisions with our own lives that can affect other people's. Financial wealth comes and goes. Legacy wealth, the true wealth that's generational, is wealth that's sustainable. And so the wealth that we're talking about here is character wealth. It's brand wealth. It's transition and work ethic wealth. That's the wealth that we're trying to address.
You also have a lot in the book about gratitude leadership. What does that mean to you?
So I believe gratitude is a fundamental premise of success. It just is. We want to really be the people that we want to hang out with, that we want to be with. Nobody wants to be with a taker. They want to be with a giver. And, I say around, one of our companies and, with partners, I want to be the person that gives first, that is grateful for the relationship, and that tries to help you. Because then great people will gravitate toward other people who are givers, who express gratitude, and who have servant leadership. And so I think that's a foundational part of success. Jeff, every great leader that I have ever met is humble. They're grateful for their, they don't take it for granted. They're grateful for their success. And they want to be around other people who express gratitude as part of their leadership strategy.
Let's talk about personal responsibility, because I think we're in a climate right now where people, they want to blame the Fed for their problem. They want to blame Wall Street for their problem. They want to blame the president for their problem. Talk about personal responsibility.
Yeah, you're describing a victim mentality, right? I believe that extreme accountability is one of the most fundamental strategies for personal growth. We can blame other people, but if you think about it from a control standpoint, you think about it from a how do we improve, how do we grow standpoint, the second, the minute, the hour that we say it's that person's fault, somebody else's responsibility, they caused this problem for me, there's no way to change it. There's no way to fix it. There's no way to improve. If we talk about what did I do to contribute to that problem, how do I take responsibility, how do I take ownership, we can then take control. How do we fix it? How do we improve? How do we grow? How do we get past it? Mistakes are an inevitable part of growth. I use in the book, Jeff, as an example of the development of the light bulb, right? And he went through thousands of iterations, and it wasn't how many times did he fail. His famous quote is, I figured out 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And so failure is an inevitable part of growth. And accepting accountability forces people to say, I'm going to fix this. If I made a mistake, I got in a bad situation, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to fix it. Therefore, I'm going to get better.
And Jim is a very accomplished speaker. We're going to put some pictures up on the screen off of your Facebook page. What kind of groups do you like to speak to, Jim?
Great question. So I'll use as an illustration. I do a lot of public speaking, Jeff, and one of the groups that I enjoy speaking with and for are people who themselves want to learn, want to grow, want to improve. So the audience is absorbing, they're learning, they want to get better. As an example, I've been a guest speaker at the Graduate Entrepreneurship School at University of North Texas. Wow. And I like talking to graduate students as well as business people, because inevitably I'll talk for 30 or 45 minutes, we'll do a lecture. Out of 150 people, 10 or 15 will come down and want to stay for another 30 minutes and ask questions. And they're engaged and they're absorbed and they want to learn and grow and develop. And so the groups are people that they want to learn. They want to get better with their career, with their lives, with their businesses. So and it's fun.
Every great leader is only good as his or her team. We're going to show your team on the screen, and you have now some 24 attorneys working with you. That's
we do.
Incredible.
We do. So we have historically, Jeff, had between 8 to 10 lawyers, and made the decision a couple of years ago that we want to grow. Part of it is give people an opportunity for themselves to grow, and part of it is we love the mentoring, learning, culture-driven environment, and the more people we can have in that environment, the more reach that we have, the more depth that we can bring.
Tell us more about the Shields Group. How do you work with your clients? What services do you provide?
So we have, the Shields Group really is comprised of two organizations. One is the law firm, and the other is a family office that we work with high and ultra-high net worth entrepreneurs and investing companies. And so really our engagement model on both the law firm and the family office, we are very people focused and not project focused. So we try to find the very best people that we can, develop them up, and then give them an opportunity for their own personal and professional development and their own personal success.
I know you're also very passionate about giving back, and that's part of your DNA. We've got some pictures off of Facebook that we're going to put up on the screen. I want you to talk about Heart House, because this is, you did a painting project with them.
We did, and it was so, there's a personal reward for giving and serving and helping other people's. There's actually a bunch of science around it, Jeff, that, giving, serving others has a chemical reaction in the brain that is very rewarding. So we picked Heart House because Heart House is an organization that fosters single mothers who have children whose fathers were killed in war-torn areas around the world.
Wow.
So they'll bring these mothers and these children in and give them an apartment, give them a place to live, try to help the mothers educate. Sometimes there's English classes. Sometimes there's job training. And the kids that come in, they provide after-school support. One story that I want to share,
Sure.
During this painting project at Heart House, we were renovating their after-school building for the kids, and we brought in sandwiches and things for the people that were there working. And I had a young boy, 5, 6, 7 years old, come up to me and kind of tug on my shirt and say, "May I take some of those sandwiches?" I said, "They're yours, right? Take whatever you need." I said, "Are you going to eat them tonight?" And he said, "No, I'm not going to eat them tonight. We have dinner tonight. My friend next door doesn't have dinner. They don't know where they're going to eat. And so I'd like to take these for my 7-year-old friend so that they have something to eat tonight." I mean, it touched my heart. I started tearing up then. I still do now. To think that the gratitude that we have for all the gifts that we've been given, a lot of people don't have that. But this little boy asked me, "May I have some food to give to a friend?" Total smile on his face. And so sharing our gifts with other people at Heart House and other charities we support has been exceptionally rewarding for us. Very rewarding.
Jim, we're almost out of time, but I want you to leave us with a final thought or two. What is the main takeaways from your book that you want to share?
Yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for that opportunity, Jeff. I really wrote the book because there's lots of cliches around. There's no luggage racks on hearses. We can't take our money with us. The only thing that we can really leave is our legacy. And we want to champion character instead of currency. We want to provide an opportunity for people to really recognize that values and the way that we act and interact and character is really the legacy that we want to leave. Most people just do it as a byproduct of their life's work. What we're suggesting and what the book is trying to advance or champion is that intentionality around creating legacy and succession with next generations is our mission, is our mantra, is a way that we can give back. And so this book was intended to provide 10 strategies to do that.
Outstanding. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to leave you with the website, which is shieldsgrouptx.com. The great Jim Shields. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.